each. So like in the morning, 3 pictures. In the afternoon, 3 pictures. At night, 3 pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's great, guys, because like half the time when you're taking selfies, I know you don't just take one. Like when you're taking a picture of your workout or whatever, don't even play. I know you're not just taking one. Like if your phone is anything like mine, you have like 70 million different angles of your like whatever, trying to get the right picture of your workout or the right picture of what. So like put them all, you have choices now, right? Makes it easy. Grids, I'm going to share my screen with you. And I don't know what will pop up because I don't know how to turn off all the notifications. Like I didn't take the time to do that because I didn't think I was going to share my screen with you. So like if weird messages come across my screen, apologies. Here we go. Let's give it a try. This is an app that I found, and I like some things about it. I don't like other things about it, but this is called Grids. And this is the only app that I found that isn't a gazillion dollars that allows you to work on Instagram from your computer. Okay, so Grids, Grids, Grids. And what you're going to see is you have to do like an $8.99 upgrade to be able to use it. It works okay. Is someone like eating kale chips like straight up on the, I hear like, and then crunching. Do you hear that too?
I just found the culprit and muted them.
Well done. Go team. Okay, so let's look at Raina Odell. She's a good example. I don't know that I'm a great example today, so let's go ahead and click on her. When I click on this little ball thing, look, is she going to do it? Is she going to do it? Okay, so dress versus jumper. So you guys see how it says 21 hours ago? That's why you don't want to just dump like 1,000 pictures at the same time. They'll know. So you guys kind of get an idea of what's going on in real life, right? She's at a party. Things are going well. Life is good for Raina Odell.
Those beach body trips. Oh.
This is a beach body trip.
That's leadership.
Yeah. Watch us see like Pat or somebody being crazy on here. Anyway, so you get the general idea, right? Like these little bubbles up at the top, these are Instagram stories. And on Facebook, there is an equivalent. Is it Facebook stories or Facebook stories maybe?
Yeah. Facebook stories. It's basically
like Snapchat, but now it is in wee bubbles above all of our social media, everything, because people want to see. It's kind of like a reality TV show. There's no limit. People don't get mad when you post 17 of them. The only thing that happens is every time you post, if someone's been watching yours, your little bubble will move back to the beginning of their list. So that's how they know that there's something new. That's why you don't want to just like dump a bunch of posts one time a day. Then at that same time of day, they will all disappear the next day. So that's why you want to kind of break it up and make sure that you're getting in there so that at all times, maybe there's nine little segments for people to watch. Okay, so these are just, I don't know, these are just my opinions, my experiences. Okay, so here are some hacks. Here are some things that I have found make a huge difference in the number of people who are seeing my story and therefore my followers. Okay, I'm going to stop the share. Okay, so when you guys are making your Instagram stories, can you get your phones out real quick? Do this with me. Instagram, I'm gonna click on the little camera in the upper left hand side of my Instagram feed. It's a little camera. And I'm going to take a picture of myself. I want you to take a picture of you. Do a selfie really quick. Okay, caption. So psyched. Yeah, girl. Okay, don't send it yet. Don't you dare don't press go. Just, we're going to pull the, I saw you. Yeah, you. I saw you. Okay, so pumped about our team training. No, taking out all the extra words. Team training tonight. Now they're not going to know what team I'm talking about, right? So I'm going to put a little like muscle flexy picture so that they get an idea that it's like a fitness team because we're all buff. Yeah. Okay. Next thing that you want to do.
Well, okay.
Okay. Next thing you want to do is click on the letter, the little button. If you tap that multiple times, it will change from being like just the letters, or you can tap. Okay. So if you tap on the letters like that, and then you tap the A button at the very top, it will change to having a background behind your text. Okay, so put a background behind your text so that it looks like that.
Can you do that? Can you do that one more time? Because I don't know how to do that, and I can't figure it out. Show me the.
Okay, so tap the words so that the words are coming up and you're able to write. And then at the very top, there's the letter A. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, did it.
Well done. Okay, so the letter A, if you tap it, all of a sudden you have a background and you can change the color. And that's what I was talking about when I said like the different colored words. I always have hot pink.
Right here, Vicky, that A. I see your face. Click that A and it'll change your color of your words.
You have an A at the top anywhere? Okay, so once you have that, the next thing that you want to have on every single Insta story, and I don't care what it is a location. Now, here is the fun trick to this. This is cheating. Who cares? We're cheaters. Thank you. Do you guys see what he just made me? Yum. Salmon with the veggies. Well done. Okay, so you want to have a location on every single Insta story. Why? Because if you add a location, then it could potentially be put on that city or that town, that area's Instagram story feeds, which means it's going to be seen by more people. This does not work if you live in a big city. So if you live in a big city, like a massive city, there's so many people that would be tagging your city that you're not going to be put on your city's feed. So what I would recommend doing if you live in a big city is find a smaller town that is outside of where you live and tag that instead. Or when I was going to London, I wanted to find coaches in London, correct? I wanted to find people who were maybe working out in London, but London is huge. So they have thousands of people tagging London places, locations every single day. The likelihood of me getting on the London story is like zilch, maybe like 1%, but not very high. So what I did is I Googled London. I looked for the cities that were on the outside of London. And then I just typed in, so like Croydon. Croydon is a smaller town outside of London. I type in Croydon gym. Something popped up. Look at my new location. So I'm going to say right now, Croydon, United Kingdom popped up, but I'm going to specifically say a gym. If I'm doing like a pre-workout shot, I'm going to say the gym. And you guys, you can say, like, you could say that you're in Garden City, Kansas. They don't say, oh, no, you're not. I don't see any cows. You're not there. You can say you're wherever you want to find people. Does that make sense? And then all you do is you make it teeny tiny inside of one of your letters, and no one will even see it. My stories where I have tagged a location get 2 times as many views. So for example, right now I'm looking at like maybe I'll have 100 people see an average story, or 150 people, but I can get 250, almost 300 people viewing my stories if I choose a location that is in a small enough area. So that's kind of a hack that you can try. Is that making sense? Any questions on that? Okay, and they even have a thing now. So if you choose a small enough town, like Garden City, Kansas, if you do a state park, then it will go from the city, then you'll also be on your state story. So things like national parks or state facilities are really good options to choose to get more visibility.
Did you also know that you can change the color scheme
of the location?
No, like when you're going through and like you have the options for the colors.
For the text?
Yeah, you can change. So like if I want green, but I don't want this green, if you hold the green down, it'll give you a whole color thing and you can change what, like light green, dark green, whatever color that you want with any color. You can just hold it down and it'll do a different color.
Ooh, so if you guys are like, if you have specific colors that are like your colors and they go along with your theme on Instagram or on Facebook or wherever, use that. That is amazing. So anyway, those are some of the things that I have added in that have helped a lot. I try to cycle through my 5. So most of you have been taught before that you should always be posting within your 5 different areas. So I always use Kelly as the perfect example because all of hers start with F and I can remember them better than my own. Hers are like fun, fitness, family, focus, February. I don't remember what the last one is. Faith.
Faith, family, friends.
Faith. Right. So whatever your 5 things are that you post about, mine are usually like hair, pole dancing, being domestically challenged, like my husband does most of the laundry and like cooks and things like that. My dog is my coach. And yeah, so I've got some like kind of interesting weirdnesses that I always post about those things. You want to use those in your Instagram stories as well. So for example,
can I ask a quick question? I want to ask a really quick question. Sorry, I'm like ADHD over here, so I have to ask a question. When you click here and it shows you like all the people that viewed it, so when I do the location for South Carolina, is that like a whole nother page that I would like, because it shows me all the people, so then if it shows it's on the South Carolina, then if I click on that, is that like a whole nother list of people somewhere?
Okay, so the only way, at least in my experience, and correct me if I'm wrong if you've studied this, the only way that I see that story is if I get on the story. Okay. Or if I'm tagging things in that location.
But I won't
go to that page.
But I won't see the people that saw it on that page. Won't be on my list.
Yeah, correct. So like your the only benefit of having those people see it, you're not going to be able to track down. Okay. But hopefully if they see you there,
then they'll follow me.
Yeah, maybe they'll follow you, or maybe they'll recognize you if you've posted in that location multiple times.
Because people will say, are you that girl that posts workouts online all the time sometimes? And I think it's because I do that for my town. But I wasn't sure of, like, if they're not following me on Facebook, I was trying to figure out where they would see it. But I can't see that they saw me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Sorry. That's like a long question, but okay. Just making sure I wasn't missing something.
Another thing to pay attention to, first of all, is that it's so yes, going through your 5 things. People get online because they want to be informed. They want to learn something. They want to be educated. They want to be entertained, or they want to be inspired. So it's one of those 3: informed, entertained, or inspired. So you want to provide some of each. So if all of everything that you post is always tips, they're not going to feel like they know very much about who you are. If you're only posting jokes or funny, humorous things, they're not going to know that you have a business opportunity. So I try to keep a balance between giving them information, things that are going to add value, like recipes or short workouts that they can do at home, or tips for being more organized, or tips for being more productive. I try to post some little snippets that are entertaining, like me being a dork, or things that have made me laugh. And I try to post some things that are going to inspire them to live better lives themselves. Okay, so I kind of go between those 3 different purposes for posting and my 5 lenses that I'm posting through. It's just as important, if you are really wanting somebody to be following you and like talk to you, you should be watching their story too. You should be giving love to their page too. It's more important to be interested than interesting. Yes, interesting is going to have them watch you and follow you, but in order to build that relationship, you have to be interested in them too. And so the next part of this is I want to show you guys how I keep track. That's been the hardest part for me so far, has been keeping track of these people, because on Facebook, you can archive your messages, yeah, but you can't archive messages on Instagram. If you delete the message, then you don't know if you've reached out to the person before, and it makes it kind of tricky. So first of all, getting grids has helped, because then I can at least type responses. That's okay. And I'm going to post this.
Grids was that app you told us about?
Grids was the app. Okay, wait. What just happened? Chat. Okay, I'm putting this in the chat. So this is one thing. This is one way that I reach out to people. Hey, girl, I see you watching my story. Are you interested at all in what I do? Health, fitness, business, tacos? Let me know. I'd love to chat with you soon. Guys, when I added in the tacos thing, it totally quadrupled the number of people who are actually responding to me. So I highly recommend, if you're sending out, if that's like your go-to, like, I see you watching me, what you doing? Add in something that's a little bit humorous or like lighthearted, that's about what you're into. And I try to send that to every new person who is watching my stories. So when I first started out,
can you say that little thing you said again? Like I see you watching me. What? Oh, you did.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys see this madness? That's what I did when I started. I literally, because when I started out, I only had 20 people watching my story. That was this summer. Like end of the summer, I had 20, 25 people watching. It took me a while of being consistent so that people knew that I would actually be posting. Like it took a while. You have to be consistent with this. And so what I did is I just wrote down all their names, and then I creeped on them. And I went through and said like, coach. This person's coach. This person's coach. This person's also a coach. This person already has a coach. And it actually wasn't that many people that were left over, honestly. Like I had, I don't know, maybe initially like 7 people who were watching my stories that weren't already my friends, family, or other coaches. So I was like, okay, well, these are the 7 people I need to be focusing on then, right? So if you send that message in direct messenger, most people who are not avid Instagrammers don't even know that that exists. They don't even know that it's there. You never hear back from them. So what I found has worked much better for normal people is this. I'm going to add it to the chat. Okay, so, I'm officially obsessed with your page, girl. If you're not really obsessed with her page, don't send this, because that's just like, I don't know, lying. It's lying. Really just send this to people. Post this on their actual, like under their picture. So this isn't a direct message. This is something that I post under people's pictures. But this is only if I've already gone through and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this picture. I love this picture. oh my gosh, you love tacos too. Am I going to get a bite of that? Or like, I'll go through and interact with their page a little bit. And once they've seen me for a day or two interacting with their page, I feel comfortable posting this in the comments underneath a picture because they're following me. They're following my story. I've clicked on their page. I like all the things that they're into too. And now I'm trying to get them to connect with me on Facebook. So it's easier for me to have conversations with people on Facebook because I already have a system. I can archive messages, I can organize, I can add them to groups, I can add them to interest lists. But whenever I send out one of these on my TeamZ, I add them on my TeamZ with an @ name. So like @ whatever. And so that way when I'm wanting to find my Instagram people, I just type in the @ symbol and then I can see everyone to maybe follow up with.
Do you try to get them over to Facebook, Carrie?
I do. And I don't know, like maybe other people have had better luck, but I try to get them over to Facebook if they're on Facebook because I want them seeing me in as many different ways. Same thing, if I meet them on Facebook, I want to connect with them on Instagram because I want to be in their business. Like I want to be up and everywhere. You know what I mean? I want them to get on Instagram and be like, there she is again. And then get on Snapchat and I'm like, what up? You know, that's what I'm going for. So if I don't, then what I do at that point when I have them, like I'm having a conversation with them through direct messenger is I try to like, I basically try to get them to fill out the link in my bio. So I'm going to show that to you guys. This was the easiest thing to set up.
She's by herself. Her parents get at 8.
There's some words going on. I hear you. Okay, how do I like see my own? There we go. Okay, so this is my page. So here are my things: Fit Traveler, Unicorn Beast, Abs and Tacos, Pole Dance, Jeep Adventures, Fun. More on our virtual boot camps here. So I have a link tree. If you don't have one of these, get it. It's so good. It's so good. When someone clicks on that, this is what pops up. And this was like the easiest thing to make ever. So now if they're digging my page, they can follow me on Facebook. They can send me an email, which I've gotten before. They can fill out my new coach application, which I've gotten before. Virtual boot camp. Like I'll get messages from people and be like, hey, I actually like filled out your application. I don't really completely understand what it's for, but whatever you're doing, I'm into. But then that way you have their phone number. That way you have their email address and their phone number and the way to contact them.
Is Linktree an app?
You set it up. You set it up on, or I set it up on the desktop.
Yeah, it's just a website.
It's a website.
And you can get an account and like put your different pages, your addresses in.
And it's free. It's free. So it's really, really been super helpful because now if anybody, like, if I'm talking to anyone, I can be like, girl, click the link in my bio and we have to connect. Like, fill out the virtual bootcamp application. Like, you want health tips? You want abs? Like, fill this out so I can get in touch with you and talk with you. And if it's one of those where it happens really fast, Michelle, sometimes I will just go straight from, like, they've said something to me on Instagram, I'll send them straight to the bio and kind of skip the Facebook part. But most of the time they do it on their own anyway. Like if they're on Facebook, then they go to creep on me there. Okay. Trek and TeamZ. Guys, if what I'm saying, if these little scripty things, if you're using them, you need to change them to be your style, your language, and And if they don't work, if you send this to 15 people who are watching your story and you're not hearing back from people, you need to change it. So I have changed this every time it stops working for me. Every time, and the same thing with invites for challenge groups or for anything. If you notice you're not hearing back, it's not them, it's you. It's your message. It's what you're sending to them isn't putting off a good vibe, a good energy. They're not digging it. It's not making them want to respond. So at that point, that's when you call your best girlfriend, the one who's going to tell you what's up, that your booty's looking not so hot in those jeans. And you say, hey, would you respond to this if you got this from someone online? And if her answer is no, you're doing it wrong. Your people are not going to jive with whatever the message is, and you need to send your friend different revisions until she's like, okay, yeah, I would stranger danger chat that. Okay. Those were like all of my main tips and tricks, I think. But it works. It works. And if that's how you easily weed out the people who are like robots or like weird, creepy bros or companies. Those people aren't watching your Instagram story. They might be following you. They might have a robot that's like liking things, but they're not watching your Instagram stories. So that's kind of an easy way to see who is watching you on the daily. If they're watching you on the daily, they are probably interested in something you've got going on. Maybe, maybe not. But if you make a list of the people who are watching, cross out the ones who aren't, you start to know their names. So then when you scroll through, you're like, oh, I've got, these people are new. These people weren't on my list yesterday. And I check it every single day. So
yeah, that was awesome, Carrie. Thank you so much. And one of the things is, if you're doing those, like if you're on here right now and you're like, oh my God, that sounds so overwhelming, just start with two. Start with two little things that you're going to put on there. Do a hashtag, do a location. I honestly will tell you, I felt like everything I had to do, that these stories was like the one thing I felt like honestly was really pushing me over the edge. Up until about a month ago, I was not doing them that much. And when I started doing it, I was like, wow, this is so easy. I was just scared of the unknown. I was scared of learning yet something else to get myself out of that comfort zone of wake up, post my workout, here's what it is, blah, blah, blah. And as social media grows and things change, I will tell you what even was working for me last year is not working anymore. So as we grow and as we change in social media and as we evolve, some things can be scary, but if you play around with it, just like when I became a Beachbody coach and I had 300 friends and knew nobody, I was like, wow, if you just keep going, you try something new and you start small, it's really gonna propel your, business forward. Like this is a Facebook one, for example, all of these people, like she said, new people that have been watching what I've been doing, and then I do the same thing she said. I write their name down, and then I'm going to connect with them. But one of the things, I think this was awesome what you said, Carrie, is you don't want to just like go for it. And I see a lot of you guys just kind of like, hey, I got this group. Like, you want to join? You want some info? Slow down, follow them, connect with them. Find out things that you're interested in, and that relationship is going to evolve. This is a relationship building business. It is not a buy some lotion from me or a mascara business. It is a relationship building business. It really is. And, ask your most crucial friend what they think. I mean, we do that all the time, guys. You're like, what do you think about my profile picture? And then we're like, well, blah, blah, blah. Or Michelle Katz will come along and be like, dude, like, you think you should like give yourself spelling tests because like you got to fix that. Like, she's my most crucial friend. So she's going to tell me like it is, So ask your most crucial friend to look at your conversations, like your conversations you're having with people. If you're inviting 50 people a day, and no one's responding and you're getting the same response, which is nothing or ghosters, you need to change it. You need to change it. And that's like the biggest advice that I can give you. Those scripts are kind of a guide. And you got to do what works for you, but you got to be you, and you have to be real. You know, you have to be real, and you have to relate to people and be you. Like, just go for it, but be you. Don't be a robot, because that might have worked a couple years ago, but it does not work anymore at all.
Okay, there's a question on
yeah. What questions do we have as we move forward? Go. Do you want to read it, Carrie? You see it?
Okay. Yeah, it's from Heather. What up, girl? I see you. So honestly, I started my like page on Facebook because I was doing a Chalene Johnson Academy, and that's what it was for. So that's why I did it. Looking back, there's not a ton, like, I don't know that I would do it. It's been really, really hard to build up a following there. And every time I post, I mean, I've been doing it for a year and posting very consistently on my like page. And I'm sure I'll be glad down the road. Like, down the road, I'm sure I'll be pumped that I did this. But if you're not anywhere close to getting to the top of your number of followers, I don't know that I would add one more thing onto my plate. Like, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, but I would just have one place to post in. And even if you're new and you're on this call and you're like, what the crap? Now I have to learn how to do these like Instagram somethings. You don't. Like, pick 2 places to focus on. Like Marie said, she said she just couldn't handle adding in one more thing. I felt the same way, but I did opposite. So I stopped doing Facebook stories, and I stopped doing like posting on my normal personal page. I started only posting on my like page, and mostly just Instagram stories, and then once a day on my Instagram, or every other day on my Instagram. So that's like focus and get really good at something. Right. Don't do them all at a crappy level. Get good at one.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of a problem that I'm running into, to be honest with you. I have 4,800 friends on Facebook, and I'm like, now, like, what am I gonna do? You know, I was like, God, I'm gonna run out of friends. Like, I don't have a like page, and I start to get like, for totally like that freak out, like in your mind. So, what I'm gonna do now is I have my Facebook. I'm gonna slowly start building my like page, but I wouldn't overwhelm yourself with that right now. You've got a lot of time, guys. So I'm gonna start building that slowly, and everybody's on these stories. I mean, I've got lists and lists of people that you can invite just by sharing your day and connect with them. It's so awesome that I'm so thankful that you did this call for us, Carrie, because every morning when you do that unicorn crack shot before I have my coffee, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, I just can't even, but I look for it every morning. I see you every morning. I get up and then I see it. I'm like, oh, but I go back to it and I see it every day. You know, it's like, I'm like your following of it. Like, I love it. And, you know, it's awesome. And you got to be happy
too. Like I think, like, we're going to Vegas, and this popped into my head right now. We should be like, before I went to London, I was like, London, going to London, like, everybody who watched me on Instagram knew that I was about to hit London. And I did that on purpose because I wanted the people in London to be like, this homegirl's coming. Like, let's chat about it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So if you're going somewhere, those are good people to connect with. If you're going home for holidays or something, connect with more people in that area. Tag your story to be in that area wherever you're going for the holidays. Yeah. So that you can be like, hey, I'm actually headed straight your way, stranger.
Yeah. Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions about any of this? You can definitely post them in the coach group, post them in the chat. And I guess my biggest takeaway is that you got to kind of find your thing. like unicorn crack stuff, like even though that sounds like some people call it mom go-go juice or, you know, dancing with your coffee, or I do a coffee talk, or, you know, and I speed up the sounds of songs. Like that's kind of like my thing. And I talk about wine. Like you got to think about what in cats. Remember we talked about that, Heather, like the cat thing. Like what is your thing that's going to kind of set you apart? And it doesn't have to be anything. Like you could collect gel pens. Forgot about that. I do collect gel pens. Like that could be your thing, like school supplies and pencils, pens, like so many things that you think are just so ordinary. A lot of people might think is really awesome because we all like the same things, like gel pens and cat stickers and stuff. And look at us, we're all on the same call. So yeah. So any other questions or takeaways you guys want to share before we?
Did you all take 3 pictures?
I did.
Do you have 3?
No. Should I have done 3?
One, I'm pumped. 2, I'm doing it. 3, now I'm out. Dinner.
Before we go, can you guys look at that photo that you posted though and see if you have anyone that looked solid? Go check that real quick before we get off. And now do you know how to do that? So you have your Instagram and then you click your little story. Ooh, I had quite the day. And then you go to it'll show you like who saw it. Does everyone see where to see that? If you don't, unmute yourself. It's like the little eyeball. So see this right here at the bottom. And then I see those people, and it's kind of funny because this girl, Anna Britton Madden, I actually used to be her dance team teacher. So she's probably graduated from obviously high school now. So she's probably like 25 right now. So that's cool. I was like, wow, I could totally invite her, you know? And then you see those people and then you write them down. And then normally what I do next and what Carrie said is she comments on their stuff. I like 3 of their photos, comment on a couple of them, and then that's kind of how it starts. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope everyone has a great night. I'm looking forward to holy moly, talking about Vegas. Like, what am I even thinking? I haven't even gotten to that, and I'm gonna start posting about that. And oh yeah, I know I'm dragging this out, but please go to Carrie. Where does the website for Coach Summit? It's Coach Summit 2018. You can Google it. I don't know what it is, but it's
look on upcoming events in your
look on upcoming events on the Team Beachbody website, because we have our huge Indianapolis convention, which is coming up in this summer, which is a huge Beachbody convention, and you want to be close to the fire and definitely check that out. And make sure everybody on this call that you are all on the wait list for Maya Riviera, because if your name gets picked for that, you might be able to earn that trip, and those are trips that we earn for free. So make sure that you're on the Success Club trip for Maya Riviera, and you're starting to think about Coach Summit. And don't stress out. We all room together. Like some people go with like $50. We make it happen. It's the experience. So no stress, but start looking into that stuff. All right, guys, have a good night. I guess we'll do our little Carrie Hart. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Carrie.
Bye. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Maureen.
Bye, Heather.